Welcome back, Legion, to episode 5 of Legend of the Five Rings, Season 2, the Emerald Tournament. We are having adventures and telling stories in the Emerald Empire of Rokugan during the Chrysanthemum era. And we have returned to Shiro Yogasa. Our players already being given their missions now, and are beginning to find out both either, in one case, what was the true cause of the former Emerald Champion's death, or also, what the hell are the Scorpion doing in this here, and why, or just protecting people. Quick thing that I wanted to note: there is potential trigger warning in this session, depending on what players choose to do for abuse. I will give warning before that scene happens, but I wanted to give the warning at the top of the show as well.
Hey everybody, I'm Shiba Kinsuke of the Phoenix Clan, yeah, I'm gonna have lots of fun this session.
I'm Mike. I'm playing Bayushi Dakio, and I can swim.
Love it. Proper Scorpion there.
Hi everybody, I'm Sam, the production manager, and I'm playing Akoto Shizuka.
Hello, I am Dom. I am playing Togashi Daishi, the Topaz champion. Help.
Yeah, you're not getting help right away. We're going right into you. But Shizuka, if there's anything you want to do on your way, because you've now left, you've gone back to the main court. If there's anything you want to do in the court before returning to your rooms and seeing the parchment that was left for you by the Ruby Champion of sources of information for your investigation, let me know. Same for the other players. But prior to that, hello, welcome. I am Hante Daisetsu. Welcome to our circle of friends. Togashi Daishi, please join us for tea and rice. Have you eaten today?
I have not. I would be delighted to join you.
This comes from the Fox Clan lands themselves. They make the best rice and the best tea. I encourage you very much to give it a try. And he is oozing charm, and not just charm, but calm. You feel safe and calm in his presence. And controlled, and people just it's similar here. It's a very welcoming atmosphere. And at the table, the Ruby Champion sits down as well. So at the table is the Ruby Champion, Miyoki, yourself, Hante Daisetsu, who is sitting across from you, and the Crane, who did the initial introductions. If I may introduce, and Daisetsu turns, Doji Reiju, the 436th Topaz Champion, you being the 438th Daishi-san. Doji Reiju sits back down, and you can very clearly tell this is a much more relaxed atmosphere. He has his court kimono on, but his daisho, his katana, and his wakizashi are sitting next to him on the non-draw side, on his right side, so he can't easily draw them. They're not tied with a peace knot, so he could draw it out if need be, but they're at a side where he's not being threatening. And he's actually undone his kimono, and you can actually see it's sort of like hanging loosely from his shoulders, exposing his very muscular chest and upper abs. His head is entirely bald, and rather reminds you of the Dragon Clan tattooed monks, but he has no tattoos about him. He is still young and muscular and confident. He has a small goatee that started to grow, very odd for Rokugani, particularly Crane to have any kind of a goatee, so he likely has some sort of mixed blood in him as well. And Reiju nods his head. Welcome, friend. Welcome to our circle of friends. Please sit, eat.
Would I know if it would be in my best interest to do as he's doing, and just take off my katana wakizashi and set it aside as I sit down?
Particularly because you're in the presence of the Emperor's second son. But yes,
I will absolutely do that.
So, tell me about yourself, Reiju says, and Daisetsu simply leans back into the shadows, and everyone seems to be very practiced at pretending that he's not here in the rest of the room, even though the rest of the room is like they're gambling and they're playing Go and they're drinking sake. All about this.
Oh no!
It's
Fuck you! You put him, Daishi, in this room with gambling, alcohol, and the heir to the throne.
He's technically not yet.
Well, he's not the heir yet. That's Mike's plot.
Oh.
I will remind you, Dom, that at any point in our duel last season, you could have actually backed down.
Yeah, Shizuka would have done great right now, huh?
Oh, she would have been in her element.
In a gambling den? Really? In her element? You sure? Well, it's not so much a gambling den. It's more where people can relax. And you see off in the corner, Matsusuko has rolled up her kimono sleeve and is now actually engaged in a very intense arm wrestling match with a crab, who's about twice her age, and both of them are still holding their own, and they're not really giving or moving in the arm wrestle.
To answer Doji-san?
Yeah, yes, it would be Son. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're equal, you're former Topaz champion.
Yeah.
So unless he corrects you, because you don't know whether he's a higher status than you or not, so
Right.
you would just say Son.
Well, I'm from some of the highest mountains in all of Rokugan, and to be completely honest, the views from atop that mountain are just as beautiful as seeing so many of different ages, some rather old, some close
Experienced.
to
Rachel
very
replies and
experienced, very
smiles.
wise. Yes, who were also Topaz champions. It is like bearing witness to time itself. Perhaps I'm looking at my future.
You are. Everyone here has served their time within the Topaz ranks and has come out the better. Some of us indicating Miyuki, like rising quite high. I do find it terribly amusing and possibly questionable, and he smirks playfully to Sumiko, that we've had, what, now since me? Now, no, I was the only one who broke the chain of a consecutive set of Dragon Clan wins. Like, and now we have another one. The crowd might eventually join our ranks again, aside from Orochi-san over there. And he indicates the elderly man. Since him, there hasn't been a single crab Topaz champion, but that's not altogether, that's not altogether odd, to be fair.
The crab have their strengths and their weaknesses. It is not to say that being a Topaz champion is unfitting of them. It just may not be within their strengths.
Indeed. And Daisetsu speaks from the shadows, and like, how very gently put. Very good job. Seems you were already practiced in courtly ways. And Reiju nods his head. Tell me, how are you feeling now? Now that I know a little bit about you, how are you feeling? Which is odd, as questions go in Rokugan. That's usually not in polite company, especially with someone of such high status seated at the table, that he asks about your feelings. That's usually reserved for private conversations among trusted friends. Because it shows weakness. It's asking you to break your face, to break the concept of face, the concept of image, the concept of composure.
I would say I'm at the highest point of my life thus far, and so I would say I'm quite elated.
Good. It is true. We were all at our highest points when we first came into the Topaz Championship, before responsibility in life saw fit to not so much bring us down, but put pressure on us. You, coming from the Dragon Lands, understand the concept of strength and pressure and the requirements to be as strong as the mountains, as the rest of your clan typically says.
Strong as the mountains, though not held down by their weight.
Really? You think so?
Well,
you don't think the weight of society is now been placed upon your shoulders? The weight of expectation has now been placed upon your shoulders?
I'd be foolish to say that it wasn't. However, it is important that while that weight is upon me, to keep an elevated view, and while taking care to act on all my responsibilities and excel in every expectation and action that I do in the name of the Empire, to make sure that my own personal judgments, opinions, do not leak their way into my duty.
Much is expected of us. Much is expected of everything from what we say to the actions that we take. I agree. Are you familiar with the emperor, our current emperor's proclamation? It happened actually during my during my championship 4 years ago. He looks sidelong at Daisetsu, and Daisetsu says, "It's all right. He did have a great deal of sake in him. That's not wrong to state fact." Like, thank you, Honorable Sama. The emperor was imbibed with a great deal of sake during my tournament, and had proclaimed at that time that we are not just the Topaz champions, but we are his champions, his Topaz champions. From that moment on, suddenly we were now viewed with a great deal of past and present champions, viewed with a much higher expectation in life.
It is a proclamation that while we are not the Emperor's level of borderline divinity, it is almost as if the gods themselves feel our presence as they walk past us.
Indeed. And and it is on now our shoulders to hold up that height of the heavens. We are the new generation. We are, with every year, another one is added to our ranks, and much is expected of us. Much is expected of this generation, and all generations to come. Which is why I started gathering people here. You're from the mountains. Are you familiar with geology at all? Study of stones and of gems?
I have a very base knowledge of it. I spent most of my studying, the monk ways, the spirits, the grace
Indeed.
of, yeah.
My uncle was a merchant, actually, Yasuki, within the Crane clans. He was a gem merchant, traded in diamonds and opals and rubies and all the other things that our champions are known for and labeled for. He taught me something a while back, that all gems have their facets and their beauty and their strength. Some are weaker than others. Some can take more pressure than others. And it was in his collection that I thought back to when those words were spoken by the Emperor about his champions. Topaz is one of the most beautiful gems, but it's not the strongest. It is capable of fracturing and breaking in the same way that jade is the most beautiful and the most revered gemstones in our society, but is actually the most fragile. It can be corrupted, as you know. Jade can be corrupted into obsidian should it come into contact with too much taint and evil Shadowlands magical energy. But there was one gem that my uncle told me about that I greatly appreciated. It is found in the depths of the mountains, at the roots of them, the very foundation of what makes a mountain strong. That is onyx. Onyx is the gemstone that is a mixture of purples and blues and all these different colors, all the different gems. But at its heart, it is this beautiful opalescent black. And my uncle traded in these gems quite a bit, and while they weren't the most popular, some who understood their value and their strength would trade with him. So he had a collection when he passed on. I kept many when he passed, and I have gifted to all of our friends here these gems. I want to gift you with one. And he reaches inside his kimono and pulls out a small, like about the size of your thumb, oval onyx gem, perfectly shaped, and you can see all sorts of facets inside of it. And he places it on the table.
I couldn't possibly, if it was part of your father's collection, I don't feel worthy.
It is no longer part of my father's collection, or my uncle's actually, but it is part of mine now. And it is a gift that I want to give to my friends, those who understand the pressure that we are now under, and to remind them of what is expected of us. And he passes the onyx across the table to you.
I appreciate that. However, I do not understand it as well as everyone else in this room, and so I feel like I haven't earned it.
None of us did. None of us, myself included, understood the weight and magnitude of our station and our situation. Isn't that right, Desetsu-sama? And Much is expected of us, regardless of our station, Togashi-san says the Imperial heir. Much weight of expectation, much weight of destiny, much weight of family, everything. But it is good to know that there are those around us who understand. And Hante and the Reiju again, and offers it a third time. Don't see it as a gift, although that is what it is. See it as a reminder of who you are, the strength that you can draw from, and the friends that you will always have now that you are here. And he slides it now directly in front of you.
With the heir's words, I will now accept it. I feel like that supersedes the rule 3 there. Yep.
The Reiju, as he sees you pick it up, smiles and looks you square in the eye. Welcome to our close friends. Welcome to the Onyx Crowns. And we'll end that scene there and go to the others. Kinsuke and Dakio and Shizuka. Now that you've been given all of your missions, while Daishi is spending the rest of the evening getting to know the rest of this group, these Onyx Crowns, the three of you have now been given your missions. Kinsuke, you returned, as you said, to see Kaide. Shizuka, you expect that there was a package waiting for you or a parchment waiting for you in your rooms. And Dakio, you have your own concerns now that made you freak out at the end of the last episode. So, what would the three of you like to do? You can reach out to each other, go find each other, go about your investigation. Whoever speaks up first, it's up to you.
I'm going to find the young Scorpion champion to be. And
yes.
Here's my plan. I want to do just a quick scene where I introduce myself to him and have him come with me as I speak with the rest of the group.
So you want to approach him first before you go meet everyone else?
Yeah, and have him come with me if he wants to.
You approach this young Scorpion. He has whenever he's in court, he's clearly trying to keep himself not so much hidden, but out of view. He's with the rest of the Scorpion contingent, so it takes you some time to actually move and weave your way through. You come upon a Scorpion who's wearing unassuming red robes, but still very finely wrought, even if the colors are a little more muted and trying to draw attention away. And he's wearing a small rice hat. Not altogether odd. There are others around who are, because this is a partially indoor, partially outdoor audience hall space. So that it's not untoward to be wearing it. But you do find him, and you are being watched by the rest of your clan as you approach him.
I bow politely and deeply, as is respectful to the young man.
He looks up from the table that he is sitting at, and I'm sorry, I do not know who you are.
It is quite advantageous as I know who you are. I am known as Bayushi Dakio, but you can call me plain, simple Dakio.
Yes, now I know who you are.
Yeah.
Welcome, Dakio. Dakio-san, would you like to sit? And his eyes are startlingly blue.
Yeah, I know. I kind of choke it down and just say, actually, honorable champion, honorable Bayushi-sama, I had an inkling of an idea, and I wished to forward it to you. It's come to my attention that you intended to come to this event, this proceedings of tournament, to meet with different clan leaders and champions and warriors from different disciplines. Is that true?
Yes.
Well,
you can immediately tell that that's not quite everything. Either it wasn't entirely his choice, or he has other plans, or something that he's not entirely being truthful with you.
Of course
he's not the most practiced at hiding his true intentions yet. That's
because he's still sweet and a good kid. You know, he ain't got fucked up yet by his ma.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save this little boy's soul. Well, I thought I am actually in the company of several relatively decently ranking Bushi. Actually, even the Topaz Championship knows me by name. I thought if you wished to have the opportunity to perhaps walk with me, we could converse and I could introduce you to them, and you could partake passively, if you don't mind, in our conversations.
I would love that.
But I must ask that you respect the privacy of those that we are speaking with and not do anything to violate their secrecy.
Oh, all right. I understand the importance of secrets. I'm not sure why there would be secrecy needed, but of course, yes, that's fine. He stands up, and as you are leaving and walking away with him, you catch that you feel as if
Yeah.
someone's boring a look into the back of your head.
I look back. Who is it?
And you see Kachiko staring at you with a, "What the fuck do you think you are doing, little ant?"
I expand my robe to obscure her view from her son. He's mine now, bitch.
Like, just as you turn away, you see her snap her fan with a mild bit of irritation, and she laughs jovially with the person the people who she's entertaining at the table.
In my head, I don't say it. In my head, I
irritation.
think, if only you did that with your legs. Now,
Ooh, snap.
in my head, and in
Yep.
Mike. So, Honorable Bayushi,
Yes.
as we're walking along, I was wondering if you had, say, any inquiries in your time here.
Inquiries into individuals or inquiries into the tournament? I'm not sure what you mean.
There's
completely.
May I be honest with you?
Of course.
Having been a young
I would
man
hope so.
formerly myself, I know that every so often one has certain burning questions that one's caregivers often hesitate to give answers to.
Dakio, you're trying to sleep with him.
I am not trying to... Sam? No. That was not where this was going. I meant... It's a No. No.
It's just,
Bad.
it's-
God.
It's just
Bad.
Sorry, it's just
Bad,
all
Sam.
All I can hear is not a kiss.
No. No. First of all, how old is he right now?
14.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Like, so no. So no.
Yeah.
I am no.
He has his katana. but not
About
his
the
wakizashi because
intricacies
he's
of
not a proper
court,
samurai.
of initial questions, perhaps certain truths that are often kept on the proverbial cookie shelf.
There's one in particular that question that I do have. There is a concern among members of our clan about the current tensions between the lion and the crane.
Okay.
Although it does not seem to they're warring over Ryoko Owari, which is a city that, while it lies on our borders, doesn't lie within our lands. And it's the city that the two of them are fighting, or seem to be fighting over. Yet there is in my mind, untoward amount of attention that is being paid by our clan about this conflict. What is your opinion on the conflict, and why should we particularly care about something so far from our lands?
Well, I know, there's the overall reason, if I can be very honest. We are very gossipy hens. In the grand scheme of things, any military conflict should be observed by the Scorpion for one reason or another. The fact that the location question faces on our territory is worth merit. It is very easy to overanalyze something. It is very different to simply accept it for what it is and be able to process it as it happens. I can make symptomatic analysis of it, but to diagnose it from a root need comes to the fact that it is very easy for a Scorpion to, as we are trained, to see the nuance in all things. But if you overanalyze, with enough words, you can overanalyze anything to the point where you're overanalyzing it to the point of obscurity and merely crippling yourself.
So it is that we do want to become involved and knowledgeable of it, but not put too much effort into the finer minutiae of the conflict. And
I
you
would
see,
say,
as you're replying, by the way, you see Shizuka come out of. She's a distance away, so you have time to reply before seeing her, or before coming to her.
ostensibly, you don't want to, I guess if I were to put it to a proverb, drown in it.
We can swim.
Exactly. You have to always be able to. There's the Honorable Akoto Shizuka-chan, as I like to call her. It drives her crazy. Shizuka-chan!
It looks at you, Chan.
It drives her crazy, and I'm trying very hard to be her friend.
Shizuka just hears it and just goes, okay.
I am trying a more crab-like tactic for friendship. It is not working at all, but I'm having far too much fun. Now,
Perhaps you should take her for a great deal of food and sake if you're going to go full crab.
but she is a lion with crane ancestry, and that would just seem like I'm trying to seduce her at that point. After all, one must always enjoy themselves in their work. Shizuka-chan, I must, of course, introduce you to Bayushi Dario.
He gives a lower bow than is necessary, so you immediately can tell that he's not actually samurai, and you can see he doesn't have his wakizashi yet. He has his katana, not his wakizashi. And judging by
He
his
is the
age,
son of our champion, Bayushi Shoujo. He's following me along today. I am giving him an education in the various clans of Rokugan and offering my wisdom.
he's looking around fairly nervously the moment that Dakio says who he is, so perfunctory and matter of factly. He tries to hide a little bit and has his fan out, so he's sort of covering his face from onlookers when he says that, afraid that someone is overhearing. But
I'm sure you're very horrified by it, Shizuka-chan. Now, come, let us walk, let us talk. What is going on this lovely day?
I just came from speaking with Agasha-sama about my conduct here in court. I am tasked with being scrutinized by not only herself but also the other Emerald Magistrate, and I am here to not cause trouble. And I'm trying to give this look of like, Dakio, we need to talk, but like not in front of this one.
Dakio gets the look, but he kind of gives a look back of, no, it's okay. This one's nice.
I'm sorry that you were under such scrutiny, Shizuka-san. I don't, or Sama. Sorry, he would say Sama. Shizuka-sama, I don't. The fact that you are being so scrutinized when the lion are above reproach seems odd to me. Whatever is causing this conflict, I hope it is resolved soon for you.
You could just see Dakio leading behind this kid, like, isn't he sweet? Isn't he just the sweetest kid?
And now it's just, Shizuka's just like, it's just the look of like, matchmaking? Really? Are we doing this?
He's 14, woman!
Not for me. For like other...
Yeah.
This
She's presuming you're
adult
matchmaking
conversation
him with someone
between eyes.
You're trying to make him look better, so matchmaking really, it's just like, really?
No, he's just really sweet and I like him. Again, with the eyes. It would be ill of me, my honorable Bayushi-sama, to leave you unattended for a few moments. So allow me to find a dear friend who I trust as a bodyguard for whom you could speak with. I'm looking for Dave's character.
You do find him, because Kaide hasn't left court yet.
Yeah. Honorable Shiba.
Daisuke-sama. Or Daisuke-san.
Dakio.
Not just me.
So,
now we get to see
do you
Dave's
mind
character
attending
drunk.
this young man for a moment or two while I speak with the lovely Akoto Shizuka?
Of course.
All right. Feel free to answer his questions, and I pat him gently on the chest and whisper in his ear, "It's my champion son. If anything happens to this kid, don't let anything happen to this kid."
My eye twitches. My eye twitch says, "What have you left me with?" I wouldn't say that out loud.
Kachiko's wrath. That's what I've left you with.
Oh no!
And I head around the corner with Shizuka. So, Shizuka, what's up?
I'm gonna take a minute just to look around to make sure that there's not too many people like just prying eyes kind of stuff.
Investigation roll.
I don't have...
TN 15, because
Did you want me to roll,
it's a
babe?
crowded court. Both of you can. Yep. The base TN is 15 because it's a crowded court, so it's a little tricky to see whether someone's watching you or not.
So
even though a lot of people have left by this point, it's still fairly crowded.
So it's just an awareness roll then for me.
Yep.
Samurai can't see you when you're in ninja armor feeling. Never
Go
mind.
Sam!
Oh, damn. Oh, you were paranoid. So you
What do your
look
crab
around
eyes see?
To your angry lion eyes see, Sam.
You don't see any other individual. You see that a particular scorpion woman is still glaring at Dakio for some particular reason. She's off in the back of the court, and she's glaring at him, but then goes back to a conversation with someone else. So if you duck around the corner, and you recognize that Kachiko is like staring daggers at him, but once he leaves Dairu with Kinsuke, she moves on to something else. And aside from that, you're fairly secure that no one else is watching.
It's amazing. You did better than I did, babe, and I had 9 keep 4.
Yep.
Well done.
Very nice. So you're fairly certain that you're secure now.
Yeah. Okay, so I look at Dakio and I'm just like, all right, Agasha-sama has tasked me to try and find the more probable cause of death for Doji Satsume and why. And I hope that whatever the reason is, it doesn't bring shame.
No, there's no way that's why he died. There's no way.
What?
There's no way. No, this is Mike saying that. That's
okay.
impossible. No, that would be too much. Devin wouldn't do that. Okay.
Or would he?
Well, I just... that'd be bad. I can't be right. I cannot be right. I cannot be right. There's no way that's what Devin did. Because that would...
Wake my widow hot.
Not my heart, but my balls. So, well, how can I help?
I'm going to go and get a list of possible suspects from my room. If I need you, do you mind if I pull you out of court?
Of course.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything too big a deal.
Your adventures with babysitting have left me with a real problem, dude.
Speaking of,
You mind if I bring my champion to be along just for fun?
No, don't bring him along.
Why not? He's nice.
That's one, he is a child. Two, I can see that possibly his mother is staring at you. And
Oh, good. Is she mad?
yes.
Oh, good. Who said I couldn't accomplish anything today?
So Kinsuke,
Yes.
as you're watching this, you see you were watching him and watching Kaide and just sort of watching the unicorn and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And an entourage, you can't of Imperials, about 6 of them. 6 Sepun are moving in your direction. They are about to pass you by, but a figure in the center stops, turns, takes one look at you. You're not sure who in the contingent this individual sees, but immediately stops and it's like, Dairu-san! Comes a young, sort of vaguely high-pitched voice, and the guards part. And a young man with very a hawked nose and very high-browed features, beautiful porcelain skin, his hair in a warrior's top knot. Steps out from the circle and immediately walks up to Dairu, and everyone around you starts to bow as you realize that this is Satori-san or Satori-sama, the imperial heir who boldly walked up to Dairu.
Oh shit! I gotta get back there.
Oh dang it!
It looks like almost like he's about to give the guy a hug, but hugging is not a thing in Rokugan. And it's like, good to see you. And Dairu bows, and immediately Satori, breaking protocol, catches him by the arm. It's like, no. Up you come. You want to go for a walk? I'm getting bored of the constant conversation here, and it's so repetitive, and it's so tedious. Can we please just get out and enjoy the night air? See some sights, perhaps.
Who said that?
Satori.
Okay.
And Dairu said, yeah, of course. And he's like, come. You can stay here, Shiba-san. And not really caring to know your name. And Satori leaves with Dairu and the rest of the guards and leaves and starts to leave court.
Does Shizuka and I come back?
I guess.
You do. And around this time, you actually see off in the distance, because the rest of the conversation Dom and I can save for ourselves if we want to, but Daishi and a few other members of a group you don't entirely recognize, there's a whole gaggle of clans, about a dozen of them, are leaving another compound in the building, but you're near the entrance to the main audience hall, so you can see that they are on the other end of the gardens, just sort of leaving and going out for a walk as well.
This guy just stole Dairu from me.
Yep. Clearly they know each other. Dairu just is like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like they're clearly friends.
Shit. There's not much I can do about he's the imperial heir. And I would this be a moment to prostrate oneself or just super deeply bow?
Deep bow is good enough since he sort of jumped on you in surprise.
Okay.
That's fine. Kaide stands up and looks at you. Your friend did, and her pupilless eyes look at you with a little bit of sorrow. Like, you are one of a few, as I spoke to you about before. Go.
Sorry? She's giving me leave to pursue Dairu?
Remember when I spoke of choices and moments on our travels here? One of those is about to happen.
Oh, damn it. Thank you, Kaede-san.
No. Thank you. I can't tell you why, but thank you.
Please, if you could, stay close to Ishikawa-sama.
You see a mixture. A smile passes across her face. That she's very clearly very close with Ishikawa, and it's don't worry. Ishikawa-san would never let anything happen to me. I'll be fine.
That sets my heart at ease. I do. I then give her a deep, respectful bow. And how does one leave court? Can you do like a half jog? Court, or do I just walk quickly?
Do a half jog. You sort of back out and then turn and walk at a slight hustle step.
Yep. Like I got things to do. Excuse me. Also, do I see Daikyo and Shizuka approaching?
You do.
I'm gonna give them a look and give them a head nod. Come on.
I walk up along Kinsuke. Kinsuke, where's my champion to be?
Yeah, she's been stolen by the air.
Damn it.
There's not much I can fucking do about this.
Could have escorted him and let me know.
I'm letting you know now.
It's a little post-dated, isn't it?
No yelling in court.
I'm not yelling, I am grimacing. I don't want to die like that.
We need everyone.
The three of you rush out of court. Daisetsu turns to you in the middle of your walk. Like, it's a beautiful night, isn't it? I wanted to ask, how are you, Daishi, feeling having left the clean air of the mountains? I've been in the Dragonlands before on one of my father's many promenades through our lands. But I haven't been there in many recent years. I remember so clearly how wonderful the people were there. Were kind, they were not only respectful and generous, but your clan seemed to care a great deal about your peasantry. That you would ensure, I remember speaking to one particular daimyo, that there was food that was earmarked, wheat that was earmarked for his family, but instead of celebrating his son's coming of age with a feast for his family, he actually ensured that all the food went out to the peasants for his son's coming of age. He ensured that it was just a single bowl of rice for each family. Is this common practice among the Dragonlands, Daishi-san?
Devin, is it?
You care a great deal about your peasantry because the mountains are such a harsh environment that you can't survive. The samurai cannot survive without their peasantry. That's true across all Rokugan, but to a greater or lesser extent. The samurai would die without their peasantry. So they emphasize the Bushido code of compassion very highly.
What better way to celebrate the coming of age than to ensure that everyone is reminded of it through a lovely meal? After all life is sacred and all life thrives on bowls of rice.
It is true. Without the gift of Inari, all of us, from the emperor, from my father the emperor, all the way down to the most, well, meaningless is a difficult word. It's a word Satori uses a great deal. So small, perhaps, Eta would die without Inari's blessing. It's very true. I'm glad to hear that it wasn't just that was simply an exception to the rule. The dragon take great care of their lands, and I imagine that means that you will take great care in your role of all within the empire.
Every single person that I can.
My father expects a lot of the Topaz champions. I've come to recognize that, and it's not a burden that I wish upon anyone. I know the expectations that are placed upon me and the near level of is at a loss for words. And Reiju speaks up. Perfection, Sama? Perfection, Daisetsu replies. The requirement of perfection that Bushido demands. But as long as we have the Onyx Crowns, and he says with a bit more of a pitched low voice, because it's not a formally recognized imperial group, and the Topaz champions in general, I think we are good.
I simply say, thank you, Hante-sama.
Of course. And you weave through the gardens. The gardens are not abandoned at this point in the night, because again, it's the first night of the tournament. So there are servants, there are geisha, there are lords, there are samurai that are all about the gardens. It's not packed. You can definitely move and weave between the flowers, and it's a gorgeous estate in the gardens. But there's definitely a lot of people moving about. Going back to the three chasers of Kinsuke and Dakio and Shizuka. You're moving through the gardens, and you're having. I need each of you to make. Investigation is okay. There's more of a spot check, which unfortunately is investigation in this system. There's no differentiate between the two. So the three of you can take a look around, try and find where Dairu and Satori Sama have gone. If you like, the base TN is going to be 15.
Can I use perception at all, or no?
Yes, you can.
Can I get a raise to investigate?
Yes. What would you like the race to do?
Get whatever gets me to get him out of there. Yes. Satori's a bad influence.
TN15, you can do a perception if you would like. It would be a perception investigation for this, because it's more of a physical thing rather than an awareness investigation of the social situation.
Perception.
I do not see.
Well,
Sam does.
I see them.
God damn it, babe! How are you doing this off of so few dice?
I don't know.
Love it. So
I swear to God, babe, if you do better than me on this, I'm gonna be so mad. I have so many dice, and if he does better.
No,
thank God.
Wow.
What did he get? Hold on, I'm going to check.
I got 40.
40.
There he is with my boy!
I got it.
Get that pillar of failure away from my son! Now.
Yeah. Once again, trigger warning for this scene.
Yeah.
As the three of you step out into the gardens, it is approaching nighttime, so the lanterns are making it very hard to see and be aware of things. Shizuka and Dakio, you catch flashes of green that the lanterns illuminate the night of, and you catch flashes of gold in the distance, and they're approaching a bridge, and it's those booted footsteps that you hear accompanying the green. So you know the direction that they went.
I'm gonna follow these two.
We'll say with those rolls, Daishi, your party doesn't
Dakio.
see this right away, so it's just the three of them here. The three of you see as you are moving through the gardens. There's people moving all about. Crossing the bridge at a similar time is a samurai with their Heinin attendants, not Eta attendants, but Heinin attendants, and they Satori's group is crossing the bridge. They're over halfway, and the second group starts to cross as well, not quite seeing who it is, and unfortunately, one of the Heinin in the lead of the group of the samurai that is crossing the path of the Imperial Air and his guards, is in mid conversation and walks headfirst into one of the Sapoon guardsmen. The Sapoon guardsman doesn't seem to feel it; he just holds still, hits the guardsman, and the Heinin bounces off and drops. But he looks up and like, oh, apologies, and the guards are laughing, not cruelly, just like, you don't need to apologize. You didn't watch where you're going. It's more amusing than anything. You get that sense in their head. And the samurai apologizes for the mistake of his Heinin, and insists that he actually gets up. And you hear Satori speak out like, no, he's not apologizing to my guardsmen. He's apologizing to me. Have you not trained your man properly? Then he steps out from the circle. You three, what do? You overhear this, and you see that the guards are stepping aside, and Satori is stepping out, and is looking down at the Heinin servant. And as he's about to get up, he said, "I didn't tell you to get up. Stay there."
Actually, no. I've been taking action a lot more, and there are other people who are kind of better than this than I am. So I'll let them go first.
Shizuka, Kinsuke, Daishi, you do start to overhear this, and it's at this moment that Daisetsu looks up and like, "What's going on?" And Reiju does a quick whistle, and the rest of the onyx crowns that are in the area sort of circle around the second sun.
I'm part of it.
You are part of it, and Daisetsu says, "Let's go see what's going on," because the garden is suddenly getting very quiet, and it's making Satori's voice much higher and easier to hear as a result. As Daisetsu starts walking towards his brother with the onyx crowns around him.
I'm going to call for Bayushidairu. Bayushidairu-sama, your mother is worried sick. Perhaps we should return you to her.
Dairu looks through the... Oh, Kinsuke-san. He sort of looks awkwardly to you, and you can see that he does not like the direction the situation is going, but he can't get out of it because of who it is. And sort of is looking sidelong at Satori. And Satori looks back over his shoulder at the young man. And like, no. What is wrong with you? Dairu, this is a peasant. The peasant has made a mistake. The peasant has not replied, or given credence to his mistake to the person who he should be replying to. And like, you're staying so you can understand how, if you're going to be ruling, he pitches his voice low, but the three of you are now close enough that you can hear. It's like, if you're going to be taking your father's shoes one day, then you're going to have to learn how to deal with peasants when they get out of line. You can leave. Satori turns to the samurai who this Hainen belongs to. When they don't move right away, he said, "Leave now." And the samurai very hesitantly bows, and the rest of the Hainen move away with him. And it's just a single Hainen on the bridge. As they are crossing you, they all give a bow to the samurai, not even realizing that's Daisetsu. They're clearly too concerned about what's going on in the moment right now. And they just all bow to you and leave. And Daisetsu turns like, "Reiju, can you, yes, I'll make sure they get back to their quarters safely." And Reiju leaves your party and goes to escort that particular samurai away, while the rest of the party continues on. No, whoever you are, Satori calls out to you, Kinsuke. He's staying until we're done here. Now, he reaches down and grabs the Hainen by his kimono and throws him to the ground. You still haven't apologized to me. And you can tell now that even if he wanted to, and he does, he is too scared to even utter the words out because of who's now standing over him.
What is the heir's name again?
Satori. Or wait, the one who you're seeing. You have no idea that the other heir is nearby.
No, the one I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's Satori. Hante Satori.
Hante Satori, okay.
You're not even prostrating properly. And you hear a cry of pain. You don't know quite what is happening. But Satori has stepped forward and placed a single boot on top of the fingers that are in front of him. The man is thrown on the ground. And he is stepping and leaning heavily onto the fingers. They're supposed to be over here. And he slides his foot, pulling the hand along the cobblestone, raking the underside of the palm. Here.
Shizuka is going to step forward, and she's going to go, "Honorable Hante-sama."
He's not taking his foot off of the Heinen's hand, but is looking back to you. And half of the guards turn. They haven't drawn their spears, but they're standing at attention. Yes?
As someone who is trying to prove herself to be part of the Emerald Magistrate, I offer to show this Hante the proper way to prostrate in front of the... And I'm bowing while I'm saying this.
Do you mean you offer to show the Hainen, the servant?
The Hainen, to do this, how to properly prostrate before someone of such rank as you are. It is...
Make an etiquette roll.
Yeah.
Daishi, you're now within hearing distance of what's happening, and Daisetsu isn't saying anything yet, but you can hear what's going on.
Well, I'm hanging out with my boy Daisetsu.
Yeah.
Fuck me. It would be most proper that someone of your rank should not have to touch a Hainen.
Am I touching him myself, or is my shoe merely teaching him a lesson? I'm not touching him myself. It is true that I, such as I am, should not be touching this individual. But it is more important that this individual knows what to do in the presence of his betters. You're not proving yourself to be a better right now, are you, brother? Daisetsu speaks out.
Yay.
Oh, thank God.
And he looks back.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, honored brother, are you coming to the defense of this peasant? Are you saying that you know better than I do, your elder? What is the proper manner in which samurai should be treated by peasants? And he immediately, to emphasize his point, steps on the other hand and pulls it into place. He should be bowing and prostrating himself properly. It's like, Lord, I did not give you permission to speak.
Does anyone else have a plan or an action they want to take?
That was my action. I was hoping it was going to work.
Unfortunately, your roll wasn't high
screwed
enough.
you? All right, it's time.
I have one I could throw down.
Okay, if someone wants to go before me, I do have something that might work, but I don't want to step on anyone else having an action in this moment.
Let me try something.
Sure.
Hantai Satori-sama, being
What is it?
I am Shiba Kinsuke.
There we go. Much better. Much more polite.
Being the heir to the throne, how would you want the people to remember you? As a kind and generous emperor, or a brute?
What do you want to add to this role? I love it, but what role are you using? It can be etiquette. It can be intimidate. It can be whatever.
Oh hell, I do have investigation. No. I'd say heraldry. Because I don't have anything else.
Okay, no, it's fine. You can make for me. Are you trying to intimidate him because you use the word brute, or are you into compliance?
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make him think that being an emperor of the Rokugani people, it's all about perception. If he becomes a tyrant, they'll accept him as emperor, but they won't like him.
Yeah. Okay. Make a raw willpower roll.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. What's my oh boy. Oh, this is
do you want to spend a void point at all?
I sure do.
Okay.
Let's see here. What does that add to my roll?
One keep one.
Okay. So that'll make this a 3K3. Here goes. Okay. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I just trying my best to remind him that it's all about the people have a long memory.
They certainly do. Now, to be entirely honest, what the people think of me is much more what my brother cares about. While I care about my perception, I don't care about how I am thought of. Because no peasant is supposed to actually speak their thoughts of me to me. So I don't particularly care. But you are right. Being perceived as one who believes in justice, yes, that is fair. To speak of justice, this Hainen has crossed my path. This Hainen touched my guard, and thus touched me. Has not apologized for it, and is not prostrated properly. Normally, something like that would be the loss of a hand or an eye or something of equal importance to this Hainen. And like, no, Lord, once again, I have not given you permission to speak. You really must learn to listen. But you are right, Kinsuke-san. This Hainen does need to learn his place, and justice must be done. But if anyone would like to stand in to his place, then I would be more than welcome to mete out justice. I will. Cuts out Daisetsu's voice. If you want to punish someone, punish me. If I am the representative of the people, and if I care so much what the people say. And he steps forward, and you can see Sumiko not touch him, be like, my lord, don't. And like, it's all right. If Satori-san is so insistent that some kind of punishment be laid out, I represent all the people of Rokugan, and it is my right and responsibility to properly care for them. Like, you arrogant piece of shit, Satori says to his brother. Always wanting to be high and mighty. Fine.
So Dakio looks at
Satori?
no, my champion to be. Before I look at like
Dairu,
yeah. Honorable Hante, your shoes! Yes! You have got Hanan blood on your lovely shoes! Please, you must permit me. I have a slight tailor's knowledge. I can amend this in moments. Please, I must. I beg you humbly, truly, your shoe, they're so nice, as only befitting a child of heaven. Silly Hanan! How dare you bleed when he steps on you? Yes.
What?
Like, it looks
You should have the honor of keeping your blood entirely in your body, lest you get it on his shoes.
All right.
Please
he looks
permit
at
me
you
to
in
remove
confusion,
the shoe.
waiting for what you want to do.
I take the shoe off and I make a very big show of inspecting it.
He seems to like this idea of a samurai, like, bending and prostrating himself and cleaning. It's like, and lets you go about your business.
Oh, blessed be to all of the heavens. Amaterasu, you still have the light on your bloodline. There is not even a mark. That is a mark of a good Hanan. A very good Hanan, in fact. Knows not to bleed when he's being disciplined. Good for you. My lord, we should elevate this Hanan, why not? He was so awed by your majesty, he couldn't even speak. Look at him. He is scared literally out of his shit.
He is, isn't he?
He is. Isn't it delightful? Allow me, as you know, I am a scorpion. I assure you.
I know exactly who you are. I recognize you.
Oh, that is good that you know of me. Allow me. I assure you, I can discreetly discipline this without any impugning. Why, after all, we must not let you have any blood on your shoes.
Very well, as he says, and looks at his brother. You can deal with the rest of this. He smiles and continues on with the guards, not harming the Hanan in any further way, as Satori and the rest of the guards go. Oh, Daryu, you can stay with your friend Kinsuke. I'll allow it.
Oh, thank God that worked. How's the Hanan doing?
He is still shocked and terrified and is now looking at you like, how are you going to punish me? Kind of look on his face. Like, please
so I look
gentle.
Is Satori gone?
His hands are mangled. Like several, bleeding. It's the underside that rubbed against the cobblestones that's bleeding. Hence why the shoe had no blood on it.
So is he gone?
Satori is gone.
Okay.
But you now see Daishi and the rest of the cadre. And Daisetsu is just watching you with a bit of amusement mixed with amazement.
So, I understand that it is my place to punish you.
Yes, Lord.
All right. Here is your punishment.
That is only proper.
I take out a koku. Here you go. You work for me now.
Oh.
That's your first pay.
I will have to speak with my master.
I'm sure he'll allow it. If you require use of the koku that I gave you, you are permitted to use it.
Thank you, my lord. I will go speak to him. May I know your name?
Just Dakio. Plain, simple Dakio.
He sounds very awkward not having your surname, but like Dakio-sama, and he looks at Daisetsu because that's a breach of etiquette, and it's fine. He did not give you his surname. It is Bayushi. If your master needs to know.
Oh, good. Daisetsu knows who I am, too. This is fun.
Thank you, all three of you, for doing that and for standing up for him.
I'm going to give him a deep bow.
Honorable heir. I applied discipline.
Something that I wish was more prevalent in the Imperial ranks, he says very bluntly. And something I hope to change.
Hante-sama, I just want to apologize for insinuating that any member of your family was a brute. It is far from me to do that to any of the Imperial family.
He steps forward and waves off the other members of whoever these people are that Daishi is walking around with, though the three of you recognize Yumiko, who's among them, and obviously the Ruby Champion. And she, and he steps up to you. And as you bow, he actually kneels to come to a level with you and leans in to whisper in your ear, "You're not wrong."
Oh,
Please
boy.
don't worry. I'll remember this action. And remember the decency that you displayed here. Thank you, Shiba Kinsuke-san.
He will remember this.
That was what in my head when I snored. I was trying to suppress it.
This goes on the resume.
As Daisetsu does that and stands back up, I'll gently approach and be like, Hante-sama, my deepest apologies for my lack of action in the moment. I was admittedly bewildered by the sight of such unexpected discipline.
I know. You need not apologize for anything, my friend.
Then allow me to say that such will not happen again.
And he leans into you. When it comes to my brother, both mandated tradition and basic personality may not give you that opportunity. But I trust that you will do your best. He leans back and gives you a small nod of the head in thanks. Now, if all of you will accompany us on the rest of our walk about the gardens, I would like to end this evening in good company. If that is all right.
Wait, is he talking to, like, the three of us, too?
The three of you, yes.
It's just just a bow. Just like, all right. Yes. So, Honorable Hante-sama, if that is your wish.
As you all move about, are about to leave, you see that a lot of the eyes are starting to turn away now that the confrontation is finished. She's going to need you to make one final roll for me, an awareness, an investigation, or just a raw awareness roll. Or perception is fine as well.
Perception. I can do perception. Perception's a lot higher. Hiya! 16!
16? So, as you are leaving with the heir across the bridge and to the rest of the gardens, one particular individual among the onlookers catches your eye because he's actually watching you in a way that's not so much untoward, but just very almost as if he recognizes you. It's just watching for long enough that it's appropriate before one of his friends nudges him in the side. It's like you're staring, and this same group of people bow to all of you as you pass by, and Daishi and Dakio, you're all walking past, and you recognize a group of Ronin and some lion samurai that are in this group, and one individual in particular, Toku, who is waving at all of you, and instead of bowing, just gives a wave.
I fucking love that guy.
and effectively gives a thumbs up. Good job. Good
job.
job.
I recognize the person who recognized me?
You have a strange familiarity with him. It's like, I know him. I don't know where and why, but I know him.
Can I see his mon or no?
You can see his mon. Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
He has the wave of a Ronin on one side, but he has a more recently stitched on one of a lion clan.
Okay.
On his right.
All right. I'll find this one again.
But it's much more recently recently
it's
stitched.
It's Tori in disguise.
No.
And this individual who you are watching, not knowing that he's already met several of your other companions, Toku waves at all of you and gives all of you a bow as you pass by. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And immediately, Shizuka, it jars a memory from very long ago. A voice you thought you'd never hear again. Enjoy the rest of the tournament, Master Daishi, good Daishi-san. And what's your name again? Plain, simple, someone. Dakio. Plain, simple Dakio. Enjoy the rest of the tournament, my friend. We'll wrap up there. We're going to wrap up there. My name is Devin. I've been your storyteller. Very happy to be experiencing the story with all of you.
I'm Dave, playing Shiba Kinsuke.
I'm Mike, playing Rokugan's Greatest Shoe Shiner, Bayushi Dakio.
I'm Mike. Sorry, I'm not Mike. I'm Sam. I'm Sam, playing Akoto Shizuka.
I'm Dom, playing Togashi Daishi, and I'm in Daisetsu's army.
You are?
Fuck.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy Legion. Take care, and we'll see you for the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.